on the air? Okay. I call to order the Borough of Oradell Zoning Board of Adjustment regular meeting for Monday, April 20th, 2026. Notice of this meeting was published in the official newspaper, prominently posted in Borough Hall, and filed with the clerk's office in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must always be maintained. Any questions and comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Roll call. Okay. Mr. Bartlett is not here. Mr. Campriel?
Here.
Ms. Day?
Here.
Mr. Lau?
Here.
Ms. Odinsky?
Here.
Mr. Devine?
Here.
And Santaniello is here. All right. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. First order of business is the approval of the zoning board meeting minutes for March 16th, 2026. We all received a copy of that in our email. Any comments or questions on that? Revisions? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes for March 16th?
I motion to approve the minutes of March 16th.
Okay. Any seconds?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? All right. Meeting minutes are good to go. Correspondence. Correspondence sent to the board is available on file in the construction official's office for those interested parties. Okay. Zoning board procedures. The zoning board is a forum for property owners to apply for exceptions to local zoning ordinances. If what someone would like to do with their property isn't something the building department can approve, they can seek a variance via this process. The way we conduct these meetings follows the procedures laid out by the New Jersey Municipal Land Use Law, and that's what determines what can be said and when it can be said. So thank you to everyone in advance for your understanding and cooperation. Okay, we need to swear in our official.
If you could raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you're about to give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No new cases will be started after 10:30. Let's hope we're not still here at 10:30. No resolutions to memorialize. We did that last meeting. So with that, calendar number 895-26. Come on up. And how do we pronounce your last name? I was reading.
Sajak.
Sajak. Okay, it was easy. Right.
It's easy, like the Wheel of Fortune guy.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
I'm going to just, before you begin, I'm going to just have you raise your right hand.
Sure.
Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you're about to give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And if you can both state your first name and spell your last name.
Sure, it's Kevin Sajak, S-A-J-D-A-K.
Xiomara Paredes. You want the office address?
You're the architect, correct?
Yes.
And if you can just give the board, I'll let you do your intro, but just so I don't have to interrupt, if you can give the board a little bit of your educational background and experience.
Sure. A Bachelor of Architecture from Central University of Venezuela, Master of Architecture from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I have my license since 1995 in New York and New Jersey. And
I know you've been with us before, so we can accept you as an expert witness.
thank you.
You could begin.
Okay, great. All right, so good evening, everyone. My name's Kevin Sajak. This is my wife, Madarima, and our two girls, Anjali and Karishma. Both of them are at OPS. We live at 570 Prospect Avenue, and I wanted to thank you for the opportunity tonight to allow us to speak and appreciate your time. We moved into Oradell in 2020, and really the primary reason because it struck us as a very strong familial neighborhood, and it had a lot of character, especially the homes along Prospect Avenue. So it really drove a sense of community to us, and that's why we think Oradell is a really special place to live. Our house is on the corner of Prospect Avenue and Soldier Hill. It's a 1930s brick center hall colonial, and we feel very fortunate to be its stewards. Right, it's a great house. We love it. Since moving in, we've made a consistent effort to sort of preserve its historical features, modernize it where appropriate, but consistently keep within the original character and building of the house. For an example, instead of replacing the windows, I personally have painstakingly taken out each wooden window, repaired it, and put it back in, much to the fun of my weekends. What I will say, though, is, at the same time, like many older homes, there are some practical limitations for a modern family. Sort of compound to that, we do have a lot of guests. So we regularly host my parents from upstate New York near Buffalo. They did get snow today. And then my wife's parents from London. So they come down, they spend an extended period of time with us. And so it makes that functionality and livability even more important for us. The intent of the project, and when we engaged CMRA as an architect, was really to improve that functionality, but still remain respectful to the house, right? So the scale, the character, the materials, we went over a number of different iterations to find something that we thought really fit not only the existing structure so that it blends seamlessly, but then also how it blends into the neighborhood. So with that, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer, but I'll turn it over to Ziamara, who can take you through all the technicals.
Thank you. Good evening. We are in front of the board tonight for a proposed two-story addition on the north side of the dwelling. This application requires a front yard setback variance along the Soldier Hill side. And it's worth noting that we're here only for the front yard setback variance. All the other requirements, we meet all and comply with all the other requirements of Zone R2. So this is an existing center hall colonial. We can see maybe the rendering that we have.
Oh, okay.
Please.
And I would just like to mark these because these are colorized as opposed to the ones we have. So if I could just have that marked as A1. The date on those ones is the same as the ones you submitted to the board, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just color versus black and white.
Yeah.
This is a center hall colonial, a traditional center hall colonial, where the symmetry is very strong. The exterior finish is brick, and what we are proposing is to have a modest addition on the north side along the Soldier Hill. And in respecting the style of the house, what we are proposing is the addition would be set back about 1'6", and the second floor is set back even further. And we made sure that the building height is lower than the existing height of the dwelling. This way we can maintain the new volume as a background and enhancing the existing colonial style of the house and not competing with it. And as an exterior finish, we're using the clapboard look. So we don't want to replicate the house, but we want to complement it and enhance it. So that's what we're using, another traditional material that is the clapboard look. And that is also the siding that is used on the other side, on the front elevation along Soldier Hill. At the rear is also siding. We can see that, Stephen, if you can please show that in the picture of this side elevation, the front side elevation we call it, Soldier Hill. Yeah. So that would be the bottom left. No, the other one that you had. That. it's hard to tell, but the bottom left side has, yes, thank you, has in the rear is using clapboard as well, white siding. So for the first floor, we're proposing to have, we're updating the house and we're updating it to the family needs. And that is, for the first floor will be a guest room with a bathroom, and the guest room can be used as a home office, which is a very common need nowadays after COVID. Everybody needs a home office. So we're going to use that as a home office slash guest room. And for the second floor, we are proposing an extension of the primary bedroom, and that way we can create a suite, also updating the house to today's standards in Oradell, which is a house like this, the family would need to have a suite with the primary bathroom and the closet. So, so that's what we're proposing for the first and second floor. Then what we have three hardships that we had to deal with as constraints, and the three conditions are: number one, the property is a corner property, so it is required to have 2 front yards, 30 feet each, and then the home is already non-conforming to the front yard. And the lot is, the third one is that the lot is substandard in width. And that is combined with the shape, irregular shape of the property that is a trapezoid. So the property starts, the widest side, that is the front, starts at 98.9 feet. And then it narrows down toward the rear to get to 69.46 feet. So the difference is 1.1 feet that is substandard to 30.54 feet. So that is, those three conditions really reduces the buildable area, and also reduces the possibilities of any location of any addition. I would like to mention that there is another constraint, that is the location of the garage. When I work on any project where we face constraints like this, the first thing I think about is no variance. That's the first thing we do, and my client can tell that that's how I always start. And we try all different locations for this addition. And the problem with the garage is that it's too close to the house. So whatever addition we propose on the right side is blocking the access to the garage. So that didn't work. So that's another constraint. When we were exploring the possibility of to do the addition in the rear so we wouldn't need a variance, then in the rear is the kitchen with windows with the visibility to the rear yard. Well, that's the main reason that most kitchens have to be in the rear with a window, because the parents want to look at the kids when they're playing, and the view to the rear when they're having an event, and so it would block the view to the rear yard. So that's why we ended up with the only location that we came to realize we had. So that was for the hardship. Now, but we have the merits in this project, or the positive aspects of this project, and that is that there are three significant conditions that really help and minimize the impact, if any potential impact this project may have. And that is that there is a significant difference between the road, Soldier Hill, and the house in elevation. So the Soldier Hill is probably around 4 feet lower than the house. So that we can see in the photo of the 4 photos. Stephen, please. That is the next one. Should be the next page. Okay. There we can see that there is the big elevation. You can see it in the photo that is on the left bottom side. That's the big difference. Hard to see the reflection, but it's about 4 feet of difference that the house is above the road. The second condition is that there is no sidewalk. So we're going to have, there is no proximity of pedestrian to the house. And then the third one is that there is a dense line of mature trees along that side that you can see there. So, so with all these 3 conditions, the addition will not be perceived as intrusive. Then, in addition to that, we have noticed that there are 3 different houses that are on the same side along the road that are closer or as close to our proposed addition to the street. And that is the, that would be, where do we have it? We're showing it, I think it's the last exhibit.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, but in the aerial view, we should see that in the aerial view. No. It says aerial view. That's not it. It should be the next. I think that's the one. Yes. Is that the one?
I think one more.
No, one more.
One more?
Yeah.
There.
Nope.
Is that? No.
Keep going.
Then after
I
that.
think you have an aerial over it, no?
Those are the ones you're looking for, though?
Those are the homes.
Those are the homes that you can
don't
see. They're
see-
so close.
I don't see the aerial view.
No?
I know you
Okay.
have
What page is it on?
That was the after. I don't have a number of pages, but that was either before or after those houses.
That's the only one we have.
This is it right here, right?
It should be the
This is-
second
this
last
is-
page if you have the packet.
It's on this side, I think,
I
is
think
the handout.
Yeah,
don't have
second,
that one.
second last page, I think.
You have this one right here. And then
I don't have that one. Oh, is this just Prospect? Or is this Soldier?
oh, you don't have this one?
No.
I don't have,
No, this is just showing Prospect, not showing the road down
It was in
here.
our, it was in
Yeah.
our package.
Some of us have it up
Maybe
here.
it wasn't printed for everybody.
Could I just take a look at that one, because
Yeah,
I have
we-
what Gabby sent
just another-
online.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you don't have, we have different ones.
Yeah, we have some copies
This
here.
is the one that you're
we
looking
can
for?
share.
Yes.
I have a copy here.
You have a copy? You have one?
I don't think this, I'll just mark it as Exhibit B. A2.
It's not
gonna
in the
just take a
thing that
picture.
they emailed us.
Yeah, this wasn't
Yeah.
what Gabby emailed.
No, it's in,
This thing.
Maybe if you could just pass it around so they could take a quick look. So we'll mark this as Exhibit A2.
Right, this one.
Okay. Yeah.
565, 68, and 799.
Yeah.
We'll share.
Yeah, we got it.
No, it's her copy. She just, everybody else has
Oh,
it.
oh.
Do you need the copy, Seymour?
It's she from-
Yeah.
To refer to? I'll get it.
Yeah, we have enough copies. We can see it up here.
Thank you. Okay, so these are 799 Soldier Hill, 565 Seminole Street, and 568 Seminole Street. So what that tells us is that our proposed addition will be maintaining the character of the streetscape, and it will not appear out of place, and it will not negatively impact natural light or sun or air to the neighborhood. Then I would quickly like to explain the floor plans so the board can understand also the restraints with the layout of the house. It should be the next one. Okay, thank you. Okay, so on the first floor, on the left side of the house is the living room. These houses have the largest area of the house, or space of the house, is the living room. And above that is the master bedroom. So we are making the entrance to the office of the living room. And we're doing the minimum, the very minimum, to be able to fit a bed and to pass by to use, to have the bathroom there. So then when we go to the second floor, we have the existing master bedroom, and we're doing the minimum for the primary bathroom and the closet. But if you can see on the second floor, the layout, we couldn't do, number one, we couldn't do the addition on the right side because of what I mentioned before, the access to the garage. But also, what would happen is that if we were to put an addition on the right side, we would be blocking all the windows, number one, on that side. Number two, we will have to reconfigure the entire second floor because the addition is for the extension of the primary bedroom. So that happens to be on the left side, and so that's another reason why it didn't work. So to summarize, what we're proposing is a modest scale addition with the three hardships, that is the corner lot condition, existing non-conforming setback, and is an irregular shape with substandard width. We think that the elevation, the vegetation, and the lack of sidewalk will minimize the potential impact of this addition. And the proposed addition will be consistent with the pattern in the neighborhood. We don't think it goes or impairs the intent or purpose of the ordinance, and definitely does not create any detriment to the neighboring properties. And we will be supporting the continued maintenance and modernization of the homes in Oradell. So for these reasons, I respectfully would suggest to the board to vote in favor of this proposed project. Thank you for your time, and I'm ready for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Steve?
Yes. Very nice layout. You're going to have to do soil moving and go through the process with the engineer, borough engineer. The fact that you're close to Soldier Hill Road and it drops drastically, are you considering a retaining wall or anything to eliminate soil erosion?
We haven't considered that yet, but I imagine when we start talking to our civil engineer, because we have to do the seepage pit and all that.
Yeah, okay. I have no further questions.
Okay. I'll let them pass by. Danielle?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Members of the board?
2 questions.
Yeah.
The view you're looking at here downside, is the intention not to remove any of those trees down?
Keep the trees and then add additional vegetation to sort of beautify it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to the point, though, I mean, and if a retaining wall is necessary in there, I mean, would that work? I mean, because when you measure the 7 1/4 feet that would be left between there and the road, that's to the property line, correct?
Yes.
Is there any town buffer in there, or is that really right to the pavement? The 7 1/4 feet?
No, let me,
There should be a buffer. There's additional
Yeah,
buffer of
it
space. In
seems
fact, the
like
trees are not on our property line.
So those trees aren't even on your...
Oh, okay.
Don't believe so.
So when
Right.
you look,
So the
it's the
tree-
measurement of 7 1/4 is to your property line.
Correct.
But then there's still an additional town buffer that all those trees are not actually on your property.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can see that there is a kind of an easement there.
So are the trees where you're, Steve, where the
Right here,
point
where
is
the-
going, they're
where
in
your
that
hand
area?
is.
see where this hand is going?
Yeah.
Up and down.
That's where the trees are?
Trees are like in there, close to that.
So, yeah, so do we know what the size that buffer actually is, the town buffer?
Well, it's not a buffer.
Excuse me,
It's part-
it's
it's
town
part of-
property.
It's part of the right-of-way.
I can
Right away.
I can scale it.
It looks like maybe 10 feet, 12 feet.
It's a pretty decent space.
So when we're measuring the 7 1/4 total, that's just to your property line?
Yes, exactly.
And then there's an additional, the town right away is...
Exactly, and that 7 1/2 is at the most narrow point toward the back, where
Okay.
it's wider. If you
It's
look
wider,
up
yeah.
a bit closer, it
Yeah.
comes up, it comes like a pie.
Yeah.
So it's the closest is 7 1/4, and then there's that additional space.
So it scales 11 and a half, 11.6, 11.5.
Okay.
What is 11.5? Is that the town,
The
the
width.
buffer?
The right.
Yes,
From the
easement.
macadam to their property line.
Okay, all right. So an additional 4 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that would be
No,
No,
it
it's
would be
additional 11.
18 feet.
10 and a half.
Yeah.
What,
11
that's where I was
11 and
at.
a
So
half.
what's 10 and a half? Exactly. So what's 10 and a half? So right
From
now,
the
the setback
macadam?
is 7 1/4.
From the macadam to the property line,
Okay, is 11?
11 and a half.
Okay.
So that would be in essence that big slope.
Yes.
That's the town.
If Soldier Hill, if they ever decide to widen it, you have that space, you can widen it, but then there would be pretty substantial retaining wall there.
Right.
Okay.
There's no plans for widening it, though.
And with this variance, I mean, that is a county road, correct?
Yes.
I mean, did the county have to have any say in this, or is this all within us?
No, other than if they wanted to go into that space, but no.
Yeah.
It's on their property.
But in terms of any variance to our zoning law, they don't have to review it? You know, because if we were to allow building that close to the road? because there's other buildings that, I mean, along there have been there for some significant period of time. That's what I'm saying, so.
I'm not sure.
From what I understand,
I'm sorry. Would any approval, it would be a prior approval with the county or any other authority? Bergen County Soil District?
Okay.
And usually what the county cares about is traffic and stormwater.
Yeah.
So if they move a lot of soil and that triggers something with the stormwater, then the county may want to review it if it impacts their facilities. But other than that, you're not putting any new curb.
And the borough engineer is probably going to require stormwater management on the property in any event.
yeah.
But it's not, the amount of soil being moved isn't, enough for the county or Bergen County Soil to
Get involved.
get involved.
I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One is, I guess you've explained why extending to the right of the dining room and kitchen doesn't work, and why extending behind the kitchen doesn't work. Could you discuss whether the TV room cathedral area was considered, and why this alternative is not better than the proposed option?
Sure. The existing TV room is a cathedral ceiling, 1-story, all surrounded by glass, and it would mean that we had to demolish what they have to create the 2-story that they needed, and that was kind of a lot in proportion to what we were looking for.
Fair enough.
Then I would add, just from a practicality perspective, with the historic nature of the house, and maybe it's more aesthetic, but there are arched windows there. There's also a bench seat going up the stairs that sets onto that, so it would ruin some of the character of the home, and that's why that also weighed into the fact of why we didn't want to explore it.
Okay, thanks. Also, I just realized my second question was already answered. It was regarding the trees, but making sure that, or I guess I'll ask it anyway. Was the distance from the tree centers of the trees to the edge of the proposed addition measured, and does it fall outside of their recommended range?
Those trees are, no, we didn't measure. We haven't measured, but those trees are with not a large trunk and not wide canopy, so we didn't foresee any problem with it.
Okay.
Any of those trees that are going to be removed will need a tree permit. So they go through that process and then reviewed.
Okay.
From
Thank
our
you.
perspective, ideally, we don't touch any of the trees. We like the trees. We prefer the mature trees.
Because there's a chance they're actually on town property also, correct?
Well, even if they're on the town property, if they're removing those trees,
Yeah.
they would need permits and to do so.
Permit, yeah.
Other questions?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the addition and the alternatives that you looked at as well, particularly when you look at the back, there looks like, at least visually on the surveys, that there's room in the backyard for this addition. Is it that, based on your work, it was just not possible or not preferred? And I understand, I have children myself, right, how you'd want to have the kitchen open to the backyard. That would be most people's first choice. But was putting it in the back just not possible or not preferred? Putting the addition in the back, was it just not possible, or was it just not preferred? Understanding also, I heard you say that that would cause more reconfiguration of the second floor, more
Yes.
cost, right?
That is, It's the combination of both. It's not preferable, but it's because what it will imply is to reconfigure the entire house, which is not realistic.
Not practical.
And then
Is
maybe one other question. So I did drive. I drove past the house, lovely house.
Thanks. Come visit.
And at least my impression driving past and down Soldier
Down,
Hill
yeah.
is that the house is already fairly close to the property line. So I'm not surprised that it's non-conforming currently. And then when I was trying to visualize an 11-foot addition on it, I think visually it's going to appear to be very, very close to the property line, which at 7 feet is like that's, a little bit taller than most adult men, right? So that's not a lot of room. I guess, Steve, do we see like things that tight to major roads? Because I know it's
especially-
difficult with the side yard situation, that their side yard is on a major road, but
Especially in this area. Soldier Hill Road used to be a narrow roadway, and actually some of the properties, the property line goes right up to the macadam. So there's no buffer area. That's on the other side of the street in that area. But yeah, mostly in those areas are older homes,
right, that might have been built that way.
and sure, absolutely
Yeah.
they were. So yes, they are others in town, as they noted in some of those photographs.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Just while we're still fresh in mind about the backyard, am I correct in thinking that the backyard slopes downward a bit, or is it relatively flat?
It's flat. So
Oh, it is flat.
Our backyard sits flat, whereas the Soldier Hill Road goes down. So the 4 feet that ZMR mentioned is more toward the top of or the front of the property. It continues to slope down
gets
further.
deeper.
So
Okay.
toward where that 7 foot mark is, and then you have the 11 feet out to the road. That's probably a good 45 to 50 degree angle down.
Okay.
That road's going down, but the property remains very flat.
Okay.
Which is great. I mean, it's great.
That is great.
Great for the kids and the dog.
True. So to follow the logic, though, if you were to either reconfigure or extend off the back of the one-story cathedral TV room, you would still need a variance for this same reason, because
Exactly.
it's all, right?
Because of that trapezoidal
Yeah.
shape coming in.
So that changes.
This is their approved or permitted building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right here, this line.
we saw that, and it cuts the living room right in half. So I assume the house predates the.
So it doesn't really save you a variance to go that strategy either. Okay. Any other questions from the board, professionals? All right, we can open it for public question on this. Nothing? All right, no takers. We'll close it for public question. Any other content or testimony you want to put forth?
No, I would just add the lower level. I mentioned our parents come all the time. They're getting older. My father's 83. So I think from a mobility perspective, having a first floor bedroom with an attached bathroom is a huge plus for us. And so although we may use it as an office when they're not here, when they do come, that will be where they stay.
Fair enough.
Anything else, Tom, that you want?
But we really just have one small full bathroom right now for everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's clear.
Do you want to swear in so you can say that?
I was gonna say,
I know, I saw
if you want to just repeat what
I
you
can
said.
repeat what you said. So, yeah, obviously, 2 girls growing. We have 1 full bathroom and just a small powder room downstairs. So, obviously, from a practicality perspective, that's part of why we're looking to apply for the variance.
Okay. All right. So we're at the point where, process-wise, what would we open for public comment? Or deliberations?
I think you just
What
did.
do we do? Well, that was public
He did
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any public comment on this one? Or are you waiting for the end of the meeting? Okay, all right. All right, so no interest in public comment. That's it. Now we talk about it, and then we look for a motion. All right, who wants to go first? You want to start us off? All right.
Sure. I thought all the arguments presented by the applicant made sense to me. They looked at all the options on which way to extend from the house. Obviously, you don't want to extend to the front, especially because it's a historic house from 1930s. To the right, they discussed. To the kitchen, back of the kitchen, they discussed. We questioned on the cathedral TV room, leaving the proposed option of going to the left. I did have a little concern about because I guess it is very close to Soldier Hill Road, and it might look imposing, and I think the 4-foot drop might accentuate the height of it, but at the same time, there are trees buffering. They testified that the trees will not be removed and that the structure is a safe distance from the trees, at least from the look of it right now. They testified that they will add additional buffering or have plans to add additional buffering there. I accept the reasoning about their hardships with the shape and configuration of their lot. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Tom?
Pretty much the same. I think you presented the hardship of the shape of the lot, which is, understandable in this particular case. The need to modernize the house was brought up. The only concern I have is this, the amount of traffic and what's going on in the entire area that I hope it never happens, but the reality of the fact that road could be widened and everything else is something to take into consideration, because at that point, the extra 2.5 feet that are, or 4 feet or someplace, that is actually kind of making it look a little bit more reasonable at this point in time, could go away. I hope not, but, that's outside of the control of anybody in this room. And it's just something to people to continue to talk about. The sight line, I turn off the corner every day, so I know the sight line is the disaster no matter what you do there. It's a dangerous intersection. But I don't believe that this affects that in any way. In this particular case, because of the height as you go down Soldier Hill Road, it becomes very much less noticeable. Right. The fact that there are already houses, whether they were originally built that way, probably, or done through variances, are closer to Soldier Hill Road instances and all. But again, my only real concern is that it is, what happens to that road going forward, and it is dangerously close.
Mm-hmm. Chip?
I don't think I really have much to add. The biggest concern everybody said is proximity to the roadway. But other than that, I totally understand the hardship argument and the desire to modernize a Center Hall Colonial from the 1930s. I grew up in one, so.
Great house. Yeah.
Okay.
Not too much to add. I agree with everything that has been said so far. I also think, there are homes there that are a little closer even to the roadway than what you're proposing, and I appreciate the fact that you're kind of offsetting it, and as you're driving down the street, I think it'll fit in with the character of the neighborhood there. My biggest concern you've already answered, which is I think if those trees remain,
right,
it's actually going to not make that appear as large as it may be with the trees that are there. So I'm appreciative that they're going to remain.
Absolutely. Helps buffer us from the road as well. So
Absolutely.
It's a two-way street, so to speak.
Other than that, I don't have anything more to add.
So, and appreciate the fact that you've look to maintain the character of the house, want to modernize it, which is totally understandable, and stay in town, also very understandable and very welcome. I guess I go back to what I said before. In looking at the house right now, and the frontage, lovely. The addition from the front looks lovely and very keeping with the area. The side, as you drive by, to me, is now close and a bit imposing. So if you add the addition, it's going to exacerbate that. It just stands to logic. And I appreciate that there are probably other houses in the area. Again, I was driving back from somewhere. I saw the other three.
Sure.
You know, at least one of them looks like it's been there also since the 1930s, and that's just, you know, who knows what the zoning rules were then, if they even existed. So I think because this is a material variance and what I said before, and then additionally, it sounds like there are some other options that could be considered to go out the back as opposed to going to the side. So those are the things that I'm thinking about.
Okay. I'll try not to repeat everything. I'm generally supportive of this. I mean, the only thing I would really add, aside from what everyone else has already said, I actually think, considering where where the house sits, where on the property it is, you have that irregular shape where it sort of creeps, Soldier Hill kind of creeps closer as it goes down. I actually think this is an ideal spot for an addition because I drive down Soldier Hill every day, and especially around that evening time. And the only thing I'm looking at are the other drivers coming up the hill to make sure that the sun is not going to blind them and they drive into my face. So I'm not super concerned where, you know, what's on the other side of those trees. I'm looking at the other cars.
Straight ahead. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's not really a section of the property that's going to get used for anything else. You're not going to barbecue over there. You're not going to play around in the, you know, above that hill. So I think it's a good use of space without messing up or disrupting the rest of the property in the house.
No, thank you.
That being said, do we have a motion in either direction for this application?
I'll make a motion that that this is approved, you know, obviously pending the final engineering report on drainage and whether or not any sort of sizable retaining wall would be required, which would change the aesthetics along that particular line, and whether or not any, you know, county notification has to be made. It's outside the jurisdiction here. But with those caveats, I would make a motion that we would accept the, you know, the proposal or accept the application for the variance
Okay.
and approve it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Can we do a roll?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Ms. Day?
No.
Ms. Caparell?
Yes.
Bartlett? Mr. Lau?
Yes.
Ms. Odinsky?
Yes.
Mr. Devine?
Yes.
And Mr. Santaniello?
Yes. Okay. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
the variance has been approved. I will give you the same advice we give everyone. There are 45 days after the approval of the resolution. Is that correct?
It's
Yes.
After the resolution?
the notice of decision. So
Publication of the
yeah,
notice of decision. Okay.
Yeah, which is a couple days after the resolution gets
Okay.
approved, then it gets published in the paper, just a notice.
60 days, I guess, from like today-ish.
I think, no, because the next hearing is when they typically adopt the resolution, so that's like a month from now, and then add 45.
That's 75 days.
75 days. Okay.
Yeah. So during that time, anyone can appeal or object. There's you know, so in other words, I wouldn't start construction before then, but
Fair enough.
I figured, right.
Yeah.
So,
You can submit your plans for permits, we'll review them,
Okay. great.
and then you go through engineering also.
Yep.
At that time. So you get all that done, and once you hit that time frame, then you can start.
Okay. You'll be seeing a lot of me.
Gabby?
Gabby will, yes.
All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. We will move on to old business. There's none on the agenda. Does anyone have any old business? All right. New business. I guess it's not that new, but it's recurring. Financial disclosure statement. So we heard about it last month. Our annual financial disclosures are due by the end of this month. So obviously we want to stay out of any kind of state trouble. If we don't want to miss that deadline, allegedly they will fine you, but I don't want to jinx it. And just when you thought you were done with cybersecurity, now we're on to cybersecurity part 2. So we would have those notices in our email as well. So I don't know what the due date is yet on part 2 of cybersecurity, and I'm sure it's a couple of months out. Is it? I don't think it's April 30th. It's probably June. They gave us a longer time.
Your financial disclosure is April 30th.
Yes.
Yeah, cybersecurity, I'm not sure. It's a decent course.
Yeah, it's not bad.
difficult. It's multiple choice questions.
Yeah,
I finished it. If you get it wrong, they tell you, and you can
take it again.
try taking it again.
Yeah, like they're not trying to stick you. They just want you to know this stuff. It makes sense for the world we live in today.
She wants to post a meeting with you guys.
Oh, okay, all right. We'll do that after. Cool. Any other new business?
Bye, girls.
No new business? All right.
No new business, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Public comment. General public comment, not on applications.
Relating to zoning board.
Related to the zoning board.
Yes, Paul Atsunas from Beverly Road. I think that you've made a right decision here tonight. The only problem that I was thinking about and I didn't want to talk about was about the retaining wall that you brought up. And maybe the fact that what would happen in the future, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future, if the road is going to be widened or not. So, and the thing is, if the state wanted to, or the county wanted to widen that road, I don't know, would they be forced to give up some of that territory there? And I don't know what would happen.
That's a whole different, that's got nothing to do with it.
I mean, that was my only question,
I just made it as a general concern if
Yeah.
I were investing that money, but it's outside of the control of this board.
Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen, so we have to go with what we have, right? Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Any other public comment? No? All right, we'll close public comment. We have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second? All right. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, great.
That was very efficient.
Great.